Alright guys, welcome back to another Minecraft Xbox tutorial, and as you can see here, this is kind of a fun tutorial. On the left here we have a, typical size piston gate, and a link to that tutorial, just the regular size gate will be on screen. And on the right here we also have a gate that's a little bit bigger. And it's what I'm calling the biggest gate that you can build in Minecraft that simultaneously pushes up and down all the pistons at one time. So like when you push the up button, all these pistons move up at the same time without any delay. Because you can make a bigger gate that works, but parts of it will be delayed and whatnot. So let's kind of take a look at how it works and kind of the frame rate issues that it causes, and then we'll take a look at how to the actual dimensions of it. So here's just me closing it, and you can see the pistons kind of lag, but they do all fire at the same time. It's just kind of laggy. Oh, it's even better when you try and open it. Check this out. Yeah. So, but yeah, this gate would be perfect for a really big castle. The dimensions of the actual fences themselves is on the bottom here is 27 blocks long. And going up, the fences are 10 blocks, so it's a 27 by 10, 27 wide, 10 tall. The reason why it can't be any taller is because pistons can only push 12 blocks. So the bottom pistons push these 10 rows of fences, and then these two pistons, because you can see when it's closed, or yeah, the bottom piston pushes up, pushes the 10, and it'll push these pistons into those pistons. So the very bottom pistons are pushing 12. The bottom pistons are pushing the top sticky piston, the fences, and then this sticky piston. So that, 12 blocks. There you go again. But, alright guys, well, I'm going to kind of jump in. You have to do a few minor modifications as opposed to that design because of the length of redstone. You kind of need to accommodate for the signal strength. But other than that, we'll jump right into how to build this. Alright guys. Okay guys, so this isn't going to be a full-blown tutorial because the basics are, linked on the videos on screen, but this is just kind of a little thing in case you guys want to mess around with some of this on your own. But I'll just point out some key things that you want to keep in mind when you're taking a look at this, and we'll go from there. But alright, so the first thing is this torch inverts the signal of all these other torches that are powering that go underneath these blocks. And it's very important to have this torch in the very center of your design. As you can see, that blue piece of wool there is marking the center. And out from this center block is going to be 13 more blocks. And just kind of how to set up the pistons. These are just two sticky pistons stacked on top of each other, with a block in front of the bottom one, torch on top, and a repeater running into the block, all connected by a redstone line headed back to this center block. Now, once you have that, and keep in mind when you're initially building the gate to begin with, you're going to want to place the torches on the blocks before you place this block with the torch on it, so all your pistons will be sticking up. And then you want to, this piece of redstone leading off of this redstone dust line is very important. Because without it, it doesn't tick. There's a 1 tick delay that you need from that torch going off and on for the opening sequence to work correctly. Otherwise, I tried having the block right here and the torch touching this redstone directly, and so you could actually make the gate a little bit bigger, 2 rows bigger, 1 on each side, but it didn't quite function right. So this piece of redstone is very key to this design. So yeah, just the key here is make sure the inverting redstone signal is right in the middle for you to get the maximum distance. And over here you can kind of see, this is just kind of for reference to see how tall it is. I believe it's from the very bottom, you know, so these bottom 3 rows will be buried underground and kind of ground level, but the whole thing is 17 blocks tall. So if you want to keep that in mind, do that. And as far as finishing the rest of the opening sequence, again, all this is in detail in the tutorials on screen. But let's take a look at this. So you have your torch, and connected to the torch is a loop of redstone and repeaters. These repeaters are all, they're looping around, so that you just place them like this back into the block. And make sure these 2 redstone dusts there are at least, and make sure you connect the corners. Another important thing to remember is that make sure you set them all to the 4th delay. And this is your line that you can run to a button. And you just push the button, they move up like so, move down, sequencing, perfect. And these repeaters don't need any delay. Okay, so that's pretty much opening the gate. Now, closing the gate is a little bit trickier. But here is a tower of torches going all the way up. And what I have is, here, actually, we don't even need these blocks. Or these blocks. Actually, yeah. You don't need blocks here, but any column will do. They're not necessary for redstone though. So what you're gonna need to keep these pistons closed and not extended is you're gonna have to build or dig into the ground a little bit, because if you're doing the exact same dimensions, you're gonna have to do this. If, say, your gate's one shorter, then you won't need to do this. But the key here is just having the torch on top lit up. And, again, going back to the middle block, as you can see, this staircase of redstone lines up directly with that center block. It's very important that we invert the signal to close it, get the signal directly in the middle of both of these redstone lines, so we don't need to put in repeaters and screw up our overall gate. So I'm just going to kind of hover here and show you how this looks. Okay, so as you can see, it's just, just a normal line of redstone coming from this torch, just coming over here. Now you can make this as tall as you want, you can get it out of the way, and there's just a repeater repeating the signal. And the location of this block and this block with this redstone is very key, because if you okay, obviously the pistons push because the signal was inverted, but say you have a block right here and try to run redstone like that, it won't invert this torch. So it's very important that this block is diagonal of the block with the torch, because it'll invert the torch and it'll turn it off, which will turn off all this other redstone. So right in the center, kind of like one block up from the center bottom, see, you can get a good visual of it right there, is you're going to want a block with a torch facing the redstone, and right above the torch you're just going to want another block with redstone on top of that. So I mean, it's a fairly similar design to the smaller gate, except for a few modifications as far as having the signal directly in the middle in the opening sequence and the closing sequence. But yeah, just one day, just the other day I just decided, how big could I get this gate? And well, there you have it, guys. If you have any questions, I know I kind of went over things quickly, but one last thing for the closing, again with the redstone leading into the block like so. This is just for your closing sequence. So all the torches like flicker on and off, and the pistons just quickly go down and up, and then your gate should be closed. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment, and I'll be happy to get back to you. And again, on screen will be annotations for this type of castle gate, as well as a curved castle gate, which you can kind of see off in the distance, but I go into really in-depth on those too. So check those out if you want any more details. But alright guys, well I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll